Alrighty, kids, I am here with my new acquaintance, John. John has been in the Philippines an entire 5 weeks, and he has been here in sleepy little Dumaguete an entire 10 days. And John is going to cover with us exactly why he's here in the Philippines, why he's here in Dumaguete, what motivated him to come here, and is it what he thought it would be, or is it not? Is he going to stay in the Philippines? Or is he going to bail? That's what's coming up in the video. All right, well, like I said in the introduction, I am here with my new acquaintance, John. We just met about an hour ago.
Yes, sir.
And we'd be shooting the breeze and having a cup of coffee, getting to know one another. And you were considerate enough to offer to come onto the channel.
My pleasure.
And tell your story. So let's start off with a little bit of your background. Where are you from? How old are you? And when did you retire?
I'm 63 years of age. I'm originally from the New York, New Jersey area, and I retired about 2 months ago.
2 months ago.
Yes, sir. I moved down to Huntsville, Alabama about 10 years ago. I've been down there about 10 years. Liked it down there. Ready for a change.
Okay. And so was that the motivation to go from New Jersey, New York to Huntsville, Alabama? Was that an economic decision, or were you just tired of the hustle and the bustle, or?
All the above.
All the above.
It was economics. The taxation in the New York, New Jersey area was just out of control. You know, $13,000 a year property taxes for an acre and a half of property. Hustle, bustle way of life. Moved down south, a little bit slower pace of life, definitely a lot cheaper. Good quality of life, good place to raise a family. Huntsville, Alabama, up and coming.
A lot of people from New York area, California, are moving there for those very reasons, I think.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a kinder, gentler, safer, cheaper place to live. And what do you think it would cost to live, say, yearly without you know, a 50-year-old guy, single guy, and he's living in Huntsville, Alabama? How much would it cost him a year to live? 60K, 50K, 100K?
Yeah, about 60K.
Okay, in New York?
Single guy, 125K, and you're just getting by.
Okay.
Huntsville, Alabama, by the way, you can look this up a couple of years ago, named #1 place to live in the United States by U.S. News and World Report magazine, and a great place to raise a family.
Awesome.
My age, ready for a change.
Okay.
I could stay in Huntsville, Alabama, live my middle-class lifestyle, be very comfortable there, but I still have to work in some capacity.
And so what was your motivation to retire to begin with? Was it you were burnt out? Was it stress? Was it you were tired of the job? You worked in corporate America most of your life. So
Yeah.
what was your, why did you retire at 62 or 63?
All of the above.
What age were you when you retired?
62.
62, same as me. Okay.
62.
So you hung in there for another year after you retired.
Yeah.
You continued to work, I
Yes.
assume? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Not a bad idea, because you can earn up to X amount of dollars while collecting that Social Security money.
Yes. I was done. I was, you know, I love what I did, but I was ready for something else. There had to be something else out there. You know, as I said, I could have stayed there and had a nice life, but watching you for a couple of years and the other guys, I've got to try this out. Otherwise, I'm going to regret this. You know, if I don't do this, I'm going to regret it. And I want no regrets.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Nothing worse.
I've got a few regrets.
Saying, you know, yeah, don't we all? Nothing worse than looking back after the fact and saying, boy, I should have pulled the trigger. Yeah. So, your primary driver or motivation for moving out of the country was what?
Economics.
Economics. Same as me. You know, we were talking and I said, man, your story sounds a lot like mine. So financially, if I can sum it up, you were in Huntsville, Alabama. You had the house. The kids were exported already. They were up and on their own. You did your job there. And if you had stayed there, you would still have to have supplemented your Social Security.
Correct.
With another job.
Correct.
You could either be a Walmart greeter or you could get a job at 7-Eleven. And God bless those people that have to work at the age of 70, 75 65, whatever, when they've already put in their 40. And now, due to circumstances beyond their control, they can no longer just pull the trigger and take their Social Security and retire out as it was originally planned when they invented Social Security.
And I have empathy for those people. I actually went up to a couple people in Home Depot, just talking regular stuff, and told them what I'm doing, and they, one looked at me like I'm out of my mind, and the other guy was interested. So I said, hey, there's another world out there. You can live somewhere on just your Social Security check or have some savings. I mentioned the Philippines, of course, Cambodia, Vietnam, and I don't know if he ever took my advice, but I gave it, and he was really interested. And that's what I want to do, Paul, today, is inspire the guy who's still on the couch, like I was for 2 years. And if this is your gig, if you have this in the back of your mind, like I did, I want to inspire somebody to just do it. Just do it. And if you like it, great. I mean, I've only been here 5 weeks. I'm the newbie. I'm the new puppy on the block.
Yeah.
With some new tricks.
New puppy, new tricks.
But yeah, there's a world out there for those willing to take that risk. I took that risk. I sold everything I had. 40 years of stuff, antiques, everything. The car, the house. I had it all. I had a good life, but there was something missing.
Okay. Let me ask you a question that just came popped into my head. Do you miss any of those antiques? Do you miss that car?
No.
Do you miss the house? Do you miss any of it?
No.
It's stuff, right?
It's stuff. But
you look at it and it's like...
But it was so hard.
Look at that chair over there. I could care less about that chair over there.
Well, you can care who's in it.
There you go. That's the key. All right, so... when it finally hit me, Paul? When I walked to the airport... Yeah.
And I looked at my keychain. Yeah. I'm a New York Yankee fan. I have a Yankee keychain, and I had no keys on it.
Wow.
I had no
car
keys.
key, no house key. No.
I had nothing. And it was a feeling of liberation.
Wow. I love it.
I didn't think about the stuff. The stuff I thought about was my kids, my family, my friends, and my dog. That's the stuff that hit home, and I've been here 5 weeks, and I haven't been homesick yet until last night. It hit me all that's the people. Yeah. The stuff. I never thought I could get rid of the stuff.
Yeah.
Because I had some nice stuff.
Right.
Fishing gear. I've had 40, 50 fishing poles, the best rod and reels, the best of everything, antiques, and it's just stuff, and it took me a long time to get to that point.
Yeah. Some people never get there, and some people don't want to try, and some people are actually living for their stuff because that represents them somehow, in some way, shape, or form.
It was the
God
leap.
bless them. If it makes you happy, having that car, that big fancy car, and that 80-inch TV or whatever it is, if that turns you on, more power to you. We're not here judging you. It's because we're different. Doesn't mean that we're right. Because we're a little bit different than those folks with that mindset. It's just that we've set our priorities to a different set of standards. And again, there is nearly no right or wrong decision.
That and we're crazy.
Yeah, you have to be a little Looney Tunes to just walk away from everything and hop on a plane at the age of 60s something and just say, well, see you later, sayonara. So, you ended up here in sleepy little Dumaguete, kind of, sort of. You're in Zamboanguita, which is an outlying neighborhood like Valencia or Appalong or Bacong or Dowan, all the same hood, kind of the suburbs of Dumaguete proper, which is where we are now.
Yeah, I arrived in Makati. I spent a week in Makati. Felt like I was in New York City. Loved it. Didn't like the pollution, though. That's a serious issue. I come home at the end of the day, I'd blow my nose and be black stuff in my nostrils. But loved the amenities. It was great. Had a great time. Then I went to Tagaytay, up in the mountains, beautiful area, just overlooking the volcano and the lakes. It was spectacular. I was looking for a place to live. You know, I knew I couldn't live in Makati. Let me try Tagaytay, cooler temperatures. Didn't feel the home vibe I was looking for.
Okay.
Had my girlfriend with me too in Makati. She met me in Makati. We went to Tagaytay. So I'm on vacation. Next is Palawan, right? That's where I was going originally. I wanted to go to Palawan. No earthquakes, low typhoon activity, beautiful scenery. Just not enough amenities for me. Not enough, you know. I don't want to use the word stuff, but stuff I'm used to.
I understand.
Blue
No, I get it.
cheese. Just didn't feel it. Fishing's fantastic. That's one thing I do in my one of my hobbies.
But you know in your heart of hearts, when you go to a place, that it's a fit for you or it's not.
Yes, you feel it.
Uh-huh.
You feel it. Now I'm going to Dumaguete area, and then I'm going to go to CDO, Cagayan de Oro, and then I'm going to pick out of those two. And watching the YouTube videos and getting a lot of negative stuff on Dumaguete area, I'm like, I came to the mindset, I'm not going to live there. I'll probably end up in Cagayan de Oro. Once I got here, started going around, and then I realized this is why a lot of the expats come here. It's kind of the things we're used to. It's a soft landing, if there is such a thing in the Philippines.
What kind of negative things did you hear?
Just, Dramageddon.
Yeah. Boy, I like that word.
The traffic, the people it's just hustle bustle. It's not a good place to live. I heard some positives, but it was mostly negative. So I had the mindset, I'm not going to live in the Dumaguete area. And once I got here, I want to stay here. This is starting to feel like the place I belong. I'm out in Zambogita. Hope I said that right.
Yeah, you did.
I could be in Zimbabwe for all that I know. It feels like Zimbabwe. But it's got that like country vibe that I'm looking for, but close to a city. I've always lived close to a city. I lived in the suburbs of New Jersey. I was close to Manhattan. If I wanted that fix, I would go there. This is the same vibe here. I'm out in the country. I'm kind of in the boonies. I'm on the beach.
Yeah.
I walk 150 feet to the water. I have access to a pool. If I had to draw my Philippine retirement place,
Yes.
that's it.
You found it first shot, didn't you? We were
well,
talking about your house that you rented, your location.
First house.
The whole enchilada.
Yeah.
You
And
just are
I'm comfortable
in hog
there.
heaven over there.
I'm comfortable with it.
Cool.
I'm adapting. If you don't adapt here, you're screwed.
Yeah.
The electricity went out the other day for 12 hours, and you can't do anything. I have a pile of wash to do. I went out, I filled up a bucket, I started washing my clothes by hand. I haven't done that ever. Dry them on the clothes rack. So what I tell the guys out there, if you come here, number one, keep an open mind, because this is not the United States of America.
Correct.
It never will be.
Thank God.
I don't want it to be.
No disrespect.
I
to my
love
home
the United
country.
States of
I'm
America.
a 100% American, true blood American.
My father served in the Philippines in World War II.
Battle of Leyte, right?
Battle of Leyte. I come from a military family. We have Japanese rifles at home that my father took. My father saw a lot of action here. So I'm a true-blooded American. But I left that for here. And I know I'm a newbie. I know I'm in the honeymoon phase. I get all that. But this is a good honeymoon.
Okay.
Sometimes you could have a bad honeymoon.
You sure can. Yes, you can. Let me ask you this question, and we'll kind of wrap it up from here. I'm assuming that you watched a lot of videos because you were going to move to Panama, you told me originally, and you shined that on.
Yeah.
So of all the options that were out there, I'm sure you explored them all.
Oh,
South America, perhaps.
everywhere.
Cambodia, Thailand, Vietnam,
It was
Philippines,
Mauritius.
yada, yada, yada.
Mauritius.
Okay. Please tell them why you came to the conclusion, not just Dumaguete, but the Philippines. Why the Philippines?
A bunch of reasons. This may sound selfish, but probably the number one reason is English-speaking country. But not everybody speaks English here, which
Right.
I'm finding out. Different levels. I've met a 70-year-old man here who can speak better English than a 30-year-old. So, but most people do speak English here. So that was probably the number one factor. And the American influence here. I mean, I think they like us here for the most part. We're very supportive of this country. We've been here a long time, you know, World War II. They listen to, I go to a place and I hear our music.
Uh-huh.
It's got an American influence here.
The signs are in English.
Yeah.
And you're right, there's
it's-
levels of communication here as far as the English goes. It goes from 0 to 100.
Yeah.
And you just kind of have to pick your poison.
It's a soft landing, if there is such a soft landing in the Philippines. This area for me, and the English speaking, and then I can go down the list. You know, economics. The Philippines is not the cheapest country out there,
Nope.
folks. You want cheap and nice? Cambodia,
Yep.
Vietnam,
Yep.
more organized.
Yep.
Thailand, if you like that buttoned up look, it's Thailand. Crazy immigration policies. Another thing, Philippines, good immigration.
Visa is very simple here.
Very simple. You can stay 3 years
Straightforward.
on a visa. Love that about the Philippines. I think that's a really big selling point. They have different types of visas too. If you want the SRRV, which was a good deal a few months ago, they raised it from
Yeah,
10 to
raised.
15,000. That's okay for some people. I'm going to go the tourist route for a while. Of course, let's be honest, a lot of us come here for the dating scene.
Okay. Are you involved with someone now?
I am.
And how did that instigate? Was that online?
Instigate. That's a good word. Instigate. It was online for a few months. Met a lovely gal from Mindanao. Saw each other. Spent 3 weeks together. Now she's coming over here to spend some time. That's all going well. That was another factor too. Definitely the dating scene is probably one of the best in the world. And old farts like us
Yeah.
can meet, women of all different ages.
Yep.
And, in the United States, I don't want to talk bad about the United States dating scene, but it's for, as you get older, the pool shrinks. Here, the pool's big.
I heard it described one time by another guy in YouTube. Think of a funnel where it's rolled wide at the top and narrows down. And
Yeah.
as you age in America,
Yeah.
that funnel gets narrower and narrower and narrower.
Yeah.
Pretty soon you're just going to squeezed out. Your value diminishes there.
Yeah.
Where here, I think, an older man still has or maintains value. And
Respect.
the age gap thing is not quite as frowned upon here at all, really, as
No.
it totally is in America.
Oh.
I've always envisioned in my head, I could tell a story, but I won't go there because it's his interview. But I've often thought, wait till they get a load of me if I took May to America and she'd go rolling down the mall.
Dirty
with
old man.
Holding hands,
That would not go over well.
How are your kids and then family and every friends and neighbors? How are they accepting or not accepting this?
As I said, leaving the kids was tough. My kids are on board
Good,
for the most part.
good.
You really find out when you do something like this who your true friends are and who your true family is.
Yeah,
Because you either get have a great life. Wow, what you're doing is awesome.
Uh-huh.
It's wow. I wish I could do that. You got some big
Yeah,
to
go
do
on
this.
Yeah.
And then you hear the negative from the family members or the friends. You're out of your mind. Be careful what you wish for. You're gonna fail. It's just the negativity.
What do you think that stems from? Why do you think where that originates from?
I think some of it's jealousy.
I do too.
You know,
I do too.
It's, and I don't want anybody to feel that way. You know, I'm not here to make somebody jealous. This is what I'm doing. This is not right for everybody.
Right.
I get that.
Yeah, yeah.
I totally get that.
Yeah.
But to throw negative comments, I mean, that's just, you know what? I don't care anymore. I don't care
That's
what
the key
people
to
think.
happiness, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is. Just don't care.
But it took me a while to get to that. At first it bothered me. You know, you're a, whatever, 30-year-old man, you're gonna go meet young girls.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. I'm living the best life that I can live right now. This is not for everybody. The Philippines is not for everybody.
But it's right for you.
It's right for me. it's just right for me. And
I think we'll leave it at that.
I'm loving it. I know I'm in the honeymoon stage.
Well,
there's stuff that I'm encountering that I'm not too kosher with, but I'm adapting.
okay.
I'm adapting. And the people here have been wonderful. You know, and there's another thing you hear online, the scams. And yeah, that stuff does happen here, but come on, guys and women, be smart. You know, be smart. You know, the people here, they've been wonderful. You know, getting back to the women, they look at you here like they actually take a double take and a smile, and that's refreshing.
And you know what? There's not always anything behind that.
No,
They're just you can't misconstrue it. Like, oh, she's hot for me. No.
No, they're just friendly.
She's just be friendly.
They're just
you know,
friendly.
she's looking at you and she just smiles.
Yeah.
And you walk by somebody in
know,
America and you smile at them and they're 35 years old.
I don't even get
the
a
next
look.
thing you know, they're screaming and running away from you, thinking you're some kind of weirdo.
I don't get a double take from a 50 or 60-year-old in America.
No,
in
me either.
America, I'm Mr. Magoo.
Right.
Here, I don't want to say it, but I'm Brad Pitt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though I don't look like Brad
In your
Pitt.
mind.
But yeah.
Well,
Yes,
Brad,
in my
Brad,
mind.
thanks for coming on the channel.
Paul,
Bring Clooney with you next time so we can have a three-way conversation. And we can all see how dapper we look together.
I followed this guy for 2 years. This guy's sincere. We've had a great conversation before. Support his channel.
Thanks, brother.
He is big inspiration for me doing this. A couple other shout outs. Gio in the Philippines. Am I allowed to say this?
Absolutely.
Gio in the Philippines. Paul and Chrissy over there fly me to the Philippines. I forget who else. But a bunch of you people inspired me to do this. And
Cool.
And I'm not regretting it.
And now the good news is hopefully you're inspiring someone to either do it or not do it. Because there is the good, the bad, the ugly, and only an individual can sort that out. And you can't do it from the armchair at home. You do have to come here. You do have to put your toe in the water. Doesn't mean you have to dive into the pool. I always tell people, if you have an opportunity to just come out here and visit and
check it out.
Me, I said I gave myself 6 months. And that was 8 years ago. So obviously I made my decision. And you still have some time to go before you actually firmly can say, yes, this is it.
Yes.
Because the first 5 weeks is
Honeymoon.
a honeymoon period.
And I'm having a hell of a honeymoon.
I'd like you to come back on the channel in a year and we'll do a follow-up. How's that sound?
Absolutely.
All right, kids.
Absolutely.
Thanks for watching. Leave a comment. And you know the stuff. We'll see you in the next video.